Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Perfect.
It's Thursday. It's Korner's Pregame.
Where's my clock? E404 button. Shoot the beat.
Oh, way down south in the land of traders, rattlesnakes and alligators. Right away, come away, right away, come away. Where cotton's king and men are chattels, Union boys will win the battles. Right away, come away, right away, come away. We'll all go down to Dixie, away. Each Dixie boy must understand that he must find his Uncle Sam. Away. We'll all go down to Dixie, away. We'll all go down to Dixie. Way down south in the land of traders, rattlesnakes and alligators. Right away, come away, right away, come away. Where cotton.
You might as well have. Kate, I feel like I have not officially said this. I've tiptoed around it. Kate, will you marry me?
Do I have to answer now? Or
No, you have time. You can think about it. You can think about a way to say no without hurting my feelings if you want.
Oh
lovely, I'll send you a letter.
Just don't even.
Alright, cool, thanks.
It's good to be back. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday. It is the Corner Booth pregame. We got some new faces here, of course. My intern is going to talk of the fact that he doesn't get to go to his Yankee game today. Pat is drunk on a plane somewhere. And so, yeah, me and Kevin decided to have some friends come on. Of course, our director of marketing and amazing host of Slapshot Sweethearts, Shannon Walsh. Unfortunately, an Auburn fan. We won't hold that against her. And everyone's favorite Ohio State nut. My second favorite smartass, JD Davis, intern for my boy Andy Patton over at Score. Ladies and gents, welcome in. And of course, the man who looks like every middle-aged father on a vacation in Bermuda, host of the Tailgate on the Quad Bot, who, by the way, dropped the greatest in my hype video I've seen since, of course, ours. The man's got talent, Mr. Kevin. Did I get all this?
Did you mute yourself, Kev?
I think he muted himself.
I did. There were loud noises in the background. I would like to point out that, Jared, the fact that you don't recognize the video means you don't pay attention to Tailgate on the Quad Twitter.
I'm not literate at Twitter at all, and you know this. I'm surprised.
That's literally the first thing I ever tweeted from that Twitter account.
True. Yeah. Okay. That's my bad. I'll go with that one. But guys, crazy. I picked the worst time to go on vacation, I swear, because it was sports nonstop, and of course I had no reception, so I couldn't watch anything. But big show. We've got MLB All-Star game. Pete Alonso getting kicked out of a bar after winning the home run derby. We have Richard Sherman, Stephen A. Smith, proving once again why he is just in a class of his own. And, of course, we have the NBA Finals and just a bunch of other shit. So it's going to be a good time today. We might even have Samir might come on at some point. I'm just waiting for him to pop on all miserable and just get out his rage. So, Kev, what do you think the odds are there?
I'm not sure, actually.
Is he at a Yankee game right now?
No, he's
It
on
got postponed because the Yankees have COVID.
Ah, there you go. Full disclosure, not an MLB guy, so I'll be.
I only know because they were going to play the Red Sox.
Right. But I'll be your test market on how you can make baseball better to the people that don't really watch it.
There you go. JD's just being a hero right there.
Yep. I not all heroes wear a cape there, Jared.
Yeah. Kev, I also want to start off with the leading story because it was the headline this morning. I read this at the gym and I texted you immediately, hype as hell to talk about it. Apparently this is now a 15-yard penalty according to the Big 12 because Texas is soft as hell. And Kevin, I've been waiting all day for this rant from you.
So they've tried to do this before, and it's not a 15-yard penalty if you do it to the stands. That's what the head of officiating for the Big 12 said. It's probably not a penalty if you do the stands. It's probably a penalty if you do it to a player. So I get that it's taunting, but only Texas. For a state that loves talk about everything's bigger in Texas, we're self-sustaining, we don't need to be a part of America. Y'all are some soft-ass motherfuckers. This is going to upset you? Root for a better team. Get better players. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I would just take that shot at the University of Texas itself, maybe not the state, but definitely the University of Texas itself, because that's just like they've been just. Oh,
most people from Texas are Longhorns fans. That's the predominant team in that state. Across professional sports too, more people will root for UT than they will the Texans.
I don't know. A&M fans are coming out of the woodwork now that they're good.
They're also a cult. We've established this.
That is true. I will give you that.
College Station will always be deep maroon, but it's UT still has a stranglehold on that state. So it's ridiculous. That's the only school that'll be a big deal with.
If you can, I've always looked at if you can do this, you deserve this. Like if you can do something to your hand signal or whatever, you kind of earned it.
I mean,
so if I were Lincoln Riley and a Texas player did that to someone on Oklahoma, I would be complaining for a flag every time. Like, we can't do horns down. Why can they do horns up?
Oh yeah, no, they better not be able to do horns up. Wasn't it banned? Like, I remember it was a really big deal. I want to say it was when the Nike gloves became a thing, right? Like the Alabama A, and I know Ohio State got in trouble because they had the O on there. And like if you did that to the crowd, you got like a flag. And I feel like that has since been changed because maybe they just don't do the images on there anymore. But it's like this seems pretty incidental compared to some other stuff.
From what I remember, I think they're still on there because most recruits will put. I remember I saw a couple of Alabama recruits, Kevin, a couple of years ago that they had the Alabama gloves.
They definitely do it for the recruiting, like the whole the dress up. Now that's a part of recruiting.
I love Adidas though because you got they put just the U on, which just looks
that's
like
actually pretty cool.
But also Nike would do the same thing
if God forbid the U stayed with Nike, which still kills me to this day. I hate Adidas. This whole thing cracks me up because Texas has been just a meme for the past, I don't know, when did Tom Herman get hired there, Kevin? Just like 5 years ago at this point?
It was 2016 because he was with Ohio State 2014, then Houston 2015.
Okay. So basically, and there's the ghost content. I look at Tom Herman and his whole era to me from Sam Ehlinger saying, "We're back," and all that other bullshit it just they've always been kind of the comedy relief of college football to me because they keep saying they're back. And even if they ever get back, okay, goodbye. They're not.
No, you are not allowed to yell at Texas for saying we're back. You've been saying the U's back for the past 3 years.
I'm saying we're back to be
fair.
semi-relevant. I never said we were back as in like national championship contenders.
But the U and Texas are in that category of whenever something. I'm just saying, whenever something starts to go well, that season starts to kind of go well. Right away, it's the "we're back" thing. I think if you say "we're back," it's Texas 1, and people think of the U second. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm just telling you, that's like college football's.
I don't even think the U is like near that category. Like, when is the last time you had a quarterback recruit that could bring you anywhere near competitiveness?
Well, I don't think they're back.
Talk to them as Bo Nix is their starting quarterback.
I don't think they're back. That's very different.
I can't even name your quarterback.
Tariq King, a couple weeks into the season, if he plays week 1, he's probably going to break his knee again, like DeAndre Francois. But but also Auburn, and you're going to make me defend Auburn, which I hate. Auburn's had a relevant quarterback more recently than the U.
Yeah, Cam Newton.
Oh, those programs aren't even on the same level.
Kevin, I'm so sorry. I just did that to you. I'm so sorry.
That's not even a compliment, though. Like, that means nothing to me. It's just the fact that he gave Auburn a compliment that makes me happy.
Right. I will say, I don't think, like, the U is back. I'm just saying they're that fan base that, like, whether you like it or not, Jared, it just seems to be like Texas when things start to go well, when they're having that season, they're the "we're back" crowd.
I know.
All right. Okay.
After 2017,
I just want to clarify that.
After 2017, I refuse to say we're back until we're either in the playoff, we've beaten Clemson, or we've won at least 10 games and won our bowl game. Those
Not
are
even that, just
So what do you
consistency.
mean, like, how do you define back?
Back
there
is
are
in
quite a
being
few teams that
nationally
are put
relevant.
into this caliber that are
Back
always,
is
like,
being
perennial.
nationally relevant, as in like we have a chance at being a national title team, not we have a chance at being the second best team in our conference. That's the way I look at it. Because
Well, those
I
are
look at it as we have
conflicting statements because, like, Penn State could be thrown into that category too.
Oh.
But,
Yeah,
like,
but Penn State also literally is just they are permanently stuck in that category. They'll never get over the Ohio State.
oh, I know, but they say we're back we are and then back every single year. Even
Also,
when
I
we
think
lose
that's the
2/3 of their
difference.
games.
I
Penn
will
State's
say this-
consistent, though.
I
I think it's the consistency.
Yeah, Penn State's consistently a 10-win team and gets smoked by every contender they play. Miami's problem was they basically from 2004 till 2016 had some of the worst collection of coaches I've ever seen. They basically shot the program to hell and started winning games again when Mark Richt came through, and it was fun. It's still a fun program to watch, and they actually had a top 10 recruiting class for the first time since 2004, and I'm ecstatic about it. But I think they're a year away from being back. If they win like 10 games this year and actually get to the ACC title game and compete, great.
The problem is you don't want to be Texas because Texas did the we're back after one BCS bowl game or whatever. For me, it's like, okay, the U when the U was the U, it was consistent. It was a stretch. And I'm not even saying you'll ever get back to that, but you need to get back to like you are the other contender in the ACC every year and you win it every couple of years for it to be like, okay, they're kind of back into the national contention, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
because they'll have the year where they lost to Wisconsin in the Orange Bowl, and then they'll follow it up with like a 7-win year or something like that. It's just the consistency, I think. Same with Texas.
My problem is that I think Mark Richt towards those first 2 years he was on point. Everything looked good. Him sticking with Malik Rozier was the dumbest thing he's ever done in his coaching career, besides everything at Georgia.
I mean, Nick Saban, so like good coaches will stick with a guy for too long. Nick Saban stuck with Greg McElroy longer than he should have.
Yeah, I mean, I won't hold him against that because that team had so much had eight or nine NFL players on it. That was our best Miami team we'd had in years. But we were gonna get killed by Clemson anyway. That 2017 Clemson team was stacked. But I don't want to say I'm a humble Miami fan because that's a complete lie.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm not. But I also understand we are not at Ohio State or Alabama's pecking order yet.
You literally said they're going to give Alabama a run for their money.
I think they're going to surprise Alabama. I don't think they're going to beat them.
Is that week 1?
Yeah.
Yep. They're not going to surprise Alabama.
No, I don't think so. Just because we've seen that game play out just about every year. Neutral site, I assume, because Alabama.
Yeah, it's in Atlanta. It's in Atlanta.
Bama the road out of conference.
Bryant Denny East, as some call it.
Right. Neutral site.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I mean,
Saban's smart. He's smart.
Yeah, but I mean, also look at some of the big name opener games Alabama's played. USC was number 3 in the country, blew them out 52-16. Florida State 24-7 and killed their quarterback
and the program.
Yeah. Miami still sends Nick Saban a $100 check each day for that one because basically they kind of just did our job for us.
I mean that Florida, I understand it was 1 versus 2. I think it's the old argument, or was it 3? It's the old argument of does it matter where they were ranked or where they finish? I kind of follow a little bit of both. Whatever one fits my argument that week. That's what that
was also maybe the most overhyped Florida State team of all time.
Exactly. And I think they won 3 games. They weren't even
that was
ranked. They were really.
I also wasn't the biggest fan of Francois to begin with. I thought he
was out at halftime.
He was flawed at best. But I mean, college football, if you're not talking Alabama and then Ohio State, it's basically just a clusterfuck the rest of the way. Clemson too.
Those are the 3 programs.
Even I would say though, do not buy stock in Clemson because I don't trust this DJ kid. I can't pronounce his last name. Kevin, you're better at that than I am. I've watched enough tape on this kid. His decision making is dog shit. He played at an athlete factory for a high school. The problem is the kid.
Cannon.
Yeah, so does fucking what's his name? Drew Lock. What do you want me to tell you?
Right.
Well, Drew Lock was good in college.
He was good in college. I will say that.
Also, I mean, he was a true freshman. Didn't expect to play. Had to start. I am not selling out Clemson.
No, me
I
either.
think they're still going to be good. They're still going to be in the College Football Playoff next year.
100%.
Whether or not
just
they
the
win,
ACC alone.
and
No.
I mean they don't really have down years. Like a lot of programs, you'll see like Alabama, for example, they had AJ McCarron, Blake Sims had a down year, didn't make it to the national championship. Then you had Jay Coker with Derrick Henry.
Down year.
Down year.
Yeah.
But in terms of quarterback play, down year. Clemson hasn't really done that, though. They've gone from Deshaun Watson.
You could say the Kelly Bryant year. They did
The
the
Kelly
same
Bryant
things like
3
Sims
games.
did that year.
No, he played an entire year. It
He
was
played the entire
2017.
season. In fact, that's
2017.
you were saying Saban had some
That's
issues
the year
with.
they played.
Yeah, they got blown out.
Played Alabama.
That's
was before
that's
26
Dabo's biggest strength is
Yeah.
moving on from people and being able to do that. And I actually think Nick Saban's obviously learned from it because he did it with Tua.
Kevin, who's starting week 1 for y'all, by the way?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young's going to start? Because I saw Cruz tweet out something like it might not be Bryce Young week 1.
Was it Paul Tyson?
Yeah.
No, that's a joke because there's this one guy on Twitter who's blocked a bunch of people from Alabama who's been like, Paul Tyson's the next guy. He's the next starter. He has the size, the arm. He's great. He's going to start. And everyone roasted him. So he blocked everyone on Gump Twitter.
What is with you guys getting blocked by people? Like, I love Gump Twitter.
people are
You
soft.
guys have been so nice to me, but like, yo, literally, y'all have like some enemies.
All right. I only have 2 people who blocked me.
That's such a lie. You tweet like every other day saying someone's blocked you.
Off the top of my head, the only 2 people I can think of that blocked me is someone who likes to who has dumb takes, like tweets. Do guys like girls who like sports?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, no.
And she blocked everyone on Gump Twitter, and then Arkansas's basketball coach blocked everyone.
Really?
Yeah, it really does not take much to get him to block you. Because I tweeted, like, I feel left out because he did block me, and some people liked it. And I was like, hey, at Eric P. Musselman, you're short. And he blocked me immediately.
There it is.
Also, not to break up the casual conversation, but in the last, 20 minutes of us streaming, Aaron Judge and Bradley Beal have both gone into COVID-19 protocol. So Aaron Judge was the reason the Yankees game got postponed, and Bradley Beal is going to miss the rest of the Olympics for Team USA.
Jesus.
Chris Middleton going to have to save the day just like he is for the finals.
Okay, this is good for USA basketball.
The fact that they're getting whooped.
The fact that I think they should get rid of Greg Popovich. I don't think his coaching style works in the Olympics. His win percentage is .692 with USA basketball, and I think it's like 92% win percentage from 1992 to now, outside of Pop. But they don't have a true point guard. They have Damian Lillard, who's a shoot-first guy. They have too many wings. And I know Bradley Beal's not a wing. He's a shooting guard. But they need to bring in a true point guard or another big man who can play defense.
So who would you suggest at that point for a point guard?
Chris Paul. I know he's old, but a point guard who can move the ball
When you
around.
think American basketball, he's one of the 10 names I think of first. So I would say
Or
he
hot
just won't
take,
do it.
Julius Randle. Top
I
10
like that
defensive
because-
Really,
rating
just
last year.
fundamentally, you shouldn't have to go that deep into America's basketball pool to get someone to play in the Olympics. Like, the fundamental issue is that no one will go to the Olympics.
Well, I mean, they
Anthony
did get a
Davis-
loaded roster this year, though. I was pretty
Yeah,
good.
the
They're
roster
not
on a
that
loaded
good.
roster.
They're not
a very
playing
good
great,
defensive
but they have a great roster, at least compared to the FIBA
paper-
World
on
Cup. They had,
paper they do.
benchwarmers.
I mean,
They
last
don't
year was,
have a good
or
team.
whatever the last time they had to go to international play, that was bullshit that they all opted out. That was absolutely insane. But I mean, they shouldn't, like, Kevin Love should not be on that basketball team.
No, but the issue also is look at the top 5 big men from last year. Centers, power forwards.
Mm-hmm.
None of them are American anymore.
Yeah, Kat is Puerto Rican.
DeAndre
Joel Embiid,
Aiden's
James Harden's American.
Bahamian. What?
James Harden's American.
but he's
He's
not a
not
big man.
big centers.
We're thinking for a
Centers,
bit.
power forwards.
Yeah, because I know Kat and Embiid are both not from this country.
Aiden's from the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Aaron
Jokic.
Baines is another one, but he's from Australia.
He wouldn't be on the team anyway.
Yeah.
Jokic.
Anthony
from
Davis
Slovenia?
isn't healthy enough.
I think he's Slovenian.
Slovenia.
Giannis plays power forward sometimes. He's
Greek.
Greece, obviously. There aren't good big men who are American anymore.
The only one, like, I was on the mid-range the other day, and that was like a question: who would you add on there? And one of the ones I was talking about was Karl Anthony Towns, just
Puerto
because
Rican.
because he
Oh,
no,
Puerto
he's
Rico's an American
nationality.
territory.
yeah.
Yeah, no, but they have their own team.
No, they
The
don't.
Olympics.
No,
no,
they
he's
don't.
Canadian. He's Canadian, but he has dual citizenship. He can play.
He's from New Jersey, but his parents are Puerto Rican.
Oh, he's
He
from
can
New
still play.
Born in New Jersey.
I don't
All
know
that
how
matters
I don't know how it works. but for some
Citizenship.
reason
It's really
he
No,
that.
plays-
it doesn't matter. Wherever you're a citizen of, you can play.
I don't know why he always plays for Puerto Rico. That's the thing. I don't get it. He's not playing this year though.
I didn't know he did
If
that.
I were
He's eligible.
like,
I know he's
if
old.
I
He's
were
my favorite player.
say 6'8", could play small forward, and I was from America and I got citizenship in Finland, I could play for the Finnish national team because I had citizenship there. It doesn't matter where you're born.
I
That's
wasn't-
why
big
a
thing
couple
in
years
soccer.
ago for the U.S. soccer team, a lot of those guys
Big in
were
soccer.
German born.
yeah, but
because
they're
they
born.
were also born with U.S. citizenship because not necessarily on military basis, but because one of their parents was American, so they got citizenship.
Yeah. I wasn't arguing that point, Kevin. I was just like, Towns is odd about that. Like every year, I think he like 1 year he played for Puerto Rico, 1 year he didn't, and it was really or Dominican Republic. I'm not sure. It was
I didn't
one
know
of
that.
It's
But he'd be a good ad. And
Oh no, he
for-
would because I love
And for his career, because I think everyone's just kind of forgot about him.
he's Dominican, so yeah,
It's
he had-
Dominican
yeah,
Republic.
he's
I was like,
Dominican
Puerto Rico
Republic.
just doesn't make sense. Like,
they do have a national team though, which is weird. I looked
you
it up.
did
Yeah.
really- okay.
Yeah, like I remember 04 with Carlos Arroyo beating the team before the Redeem team.
Also, the Australian team could be even better if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, if they could convince Kyrie and Ben Simmons to play for them, they would be like medal winners every year
Oh, yeah.
or every Olympics.
I mean, I still every time I think of Ben Simmons now, I just think of Anthony Mackie roasting the fuck out of him on the ESPYs. I'm so happy I caught the opening monologue of that, and then I got a TikTok from somebody of Anthony Mackie roasting Ben Simmons. I almost fell off my chair. I was laughing so hard. I was like, he did not just fucking say this.
I didn't even
online.
realize the ESPYs have come and gone
I
already.
did. Yeah, you know, it's really sad because
Talk about a show that's just
yeah, I
falling.
mean,
I love the ESPYs.
They got
right now. I
torched
really
for some
do.
of their picks too.
oh
That's
yeah,
one
I
of the
know.
reasons they went viral for a few of them.
Yeah. Leave it to ESPN to fuck up one of my favorite things as a child, which was the
It
ESPYs.
was. No, I love the ESPYs. I made sure I recorded it. I love the ESPYs.
Same, yeah. It's sad, man.
The
Really
picks
good.
aren't ESPN's fault.
No.
A lot of it are just those are the picks that the writers make or whoever votes on these things makes. It's not ESPN just randomly picking like, hey,
Well,
we
no, but a
say
lot of
the
ESPYs are fan voted. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, some of them
Yeah.
were.
They are.
so it's
Who
not
won?
like
Who won?
but they
male
announce
athlete?
MVPs sometimes now.
I'll pull up the awards. Hold on.
I know
I don't even
Smitty.
know who won.
I know the Slim Reaper won Best College Athlete because Eagles Instagram was plastered of it. I'm like,
So Patrick Kane won MVP or whatever they call best player in hockey, and everyone was pissed as if he wasn't. He was the second voted in the Hart Trophy votes, and everyone was like, "That's so insane!" Like Connor McDavid's the best player, but he came in second. It wasn't that like out of nowhere. But they got absolutely torched, and that's how I knew it happened because I've never been like.
I feel like they use those for second place votes a lot of the time because it's like not fun if you just pick all the league MVPs.
I also feel like McDavid becoming like beloved by people is starting to become I don't want to say mainstream,
Who
but
do you
it's-
think your guess for best athlete in men's sports is?
oh,
You're gonna be so annoyed when you hear it.
it's fucking LeBron James. I'm shutting off my computer.
No, it's not.
it can't be LeBron.
It's not LeBron.
Is it
Think
Giannis?
No,
He's a basketball player.
no,
Is it baseball?
no,
Is it Patrick Mahomes?
no. But you're closer.
Aaron Rodgers?
Tom Brady.
It's Tom Brady.
the
Oh yeah, no, I remember seeing
goat
that.
strikes again.
Fucking asshole.
Oh my god.
I hate that man more and more as the hours pass in a given day.
Why?
Why? Who asked that?
Kevin.
Sorry, I went to a different tab. Because he actively recruits against the Patriots, shits on the Patriots, like boasts himself as basically retiring with rings in Florida. Like I can't.
Wait, you hate him and you're a
He's
Patriots fan?
Living the
Alright.
American dream.
I
Shannon,
have his jersey in my closet.
Shannon, for the next 20 years, we're gonna put you in a box. If you say anything, even slightly controversial, you're going to get yelled at. Like berated every day you do it.
You're telling me that's a
then
worse
after
decision
20
Darren's
years,
ever made
then
on
after
the
20 years, we're going to let you out of the box and give you a bunch of money. What are you going to do? How are you going to react?
I don't know.
You're just going to sit there twiddling your thumbs like, well, like it was a team. No! You'd be like, I have all this money. I am great.
But I guess that's why I like hockey so much, right? Because they very rarely go on these fucking tangents, shitting on the league and the sport and their teams.
But he also doesn't
Except for Nikita Kucherov, who's also from Tampa, mind you.
He doesn't do it unprompted. He gets asked.
So don't answer. Be diplomatic.
Yeah, he spent 20 years being diplomatic.
Yeah, I think he earns the right to shit on some people for a little while.
I don't get Patriots fans like, I hate Tom Brady. Like, why?
I didn't. No, I didn't until recently because it's just like one thing after another after another. Like Julian Edelman retires and we're all like, that's so great. He did so much for the organization. And Brady tweets like an hour later and is like, he's coming to the Bucks. Like, fuck off. Fuck off.
Baker Mayfield won Cleveland a Super Bowl and then murdered a bus full of children. I would support him. Because
oh my God.
That's a bold take. You know what the bold take was? That Baker Mayfield's going to win the Super Bowl.
Well, I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying you guys sound like rich people complaining about your yachts. Yeah, making fun of Tom Brady.
Yeah,
right
facts.
now.
I do.
I'm not.
There
I'm
are some
defending Tom.
franchises.
I'm aware of the loftiness of the
I'm
take.
the only one.
Also, hot take: Baker Mayfield, best passer in the AFC North.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yep,
because Burrow, he's consistently accurate.
Lamar is not a bad quarterback, but a lot of that is because he can run. It's not necessarily because he's a good passer. Joe Burrow, the lowest long ball percentage in the league last year.
You showed me that stat. I almost threw
Baker
up.
played well in the playoffs. That's more than Lamar can say.
Baker, best passer
Brady
in the AFC
also
North.
won best NFL player. Just there's one for each league.
That'd be hysterical if he won best male athlete but did not win best NFL player.
I feel like that's happening.
So Curry got NBA.
What?
Yeah.
Did they watch this year?
He had a great season. I will not.
He did.
It's actually, in hindsight, not wanting to give it to the MVP for every award. I can see them giving it to Curry.
I would love.
I would have probably went like
a rule
Luka or
that
something.
said if they won MVP in their given league, they can't win again. Because what's the purpose of the the awards if they're just getting another one of the same?
It's like what's the when they do the college football awards? There's I forget what the award's called, but it's always like the runner-up to the Heisman basically wins the whatever award.
The Walter Camp Award.
Yeah, it's just the runner-up to the Heisman. Like,
dude, I had to cover that shit for college once. It was crazy because it's in New Haven, so like I got to cover that shit a little bit,
which is a weird city to hold a major.
Well, that's because that's what Walter
award.
Camp said everything.
Is it all?
I
assume all the awards.
Oh, by the way, Derrick Henry is maybe the largest human being I've ever seen. I watched
they
him
do an
walk
award
in there,
show
like,
now.
Yeah, the Heisman's in New York generally.
Well, no, I know that, but like they do a college football award show now that like Herbie hosts. I think they did that the last couple of years. I thought they did like all.
They're really
the same
scratching
spot.
for views at that point.
I liked it.
Oh no, I'm not knocking. I'm just like I look at some of that shit.
For me, it's like it come usually you find out just on Twitter anyway, so it's all at the same time at least. So.
Twitter is the weirdest place to find sports because I was up in the mountains, so I had to walk down to the lodge about 1.5 miles to get service to find out who won the home run derby. I was so pissed about it. I mean, I wanted Pete Alonso to win, but I was rooting for the kid from Baltimore because like he beat fucking cancer. Yeah. So like
I
was like
so many tweets saying Pete Alonso pro cancer.
Mets fans are fucked. Also, I love how
that wouldn't be Mets fans. That would be Orioles fans.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, flip that. Yeah, no. Even worse. Was one of them our good friend Vinny, who's the only Orioles fan I actually know?
He didn't tweet it, but he did say it.
Are you guys? Do you like the home run derby format? Because I will say, as someone who's not a big baseball guy, has always loved the home run derby. I hate it now. I don't hate it, but I don't like it. I don't even understand what's happening. Why complicate something? Which grown man could take a stick and send the most balls over that fence? That seems really simple. And
I love it.
Clock and I
hate how rapid fire it looks now, but I don't hate the whole format. maybe it's because I'm romanticizing as a kid.
I was gonna say all I can think about is Prince Fielder.
I think of Josh Hamilton and
those.
Justin Morneau into like I'm on vacation into the middle of the night. They're hitting home runs. It's like 2 a.m. They're still jacking balls at Yankee Stadium.
And
it's electric. I love it.
You do? Okay. See, I feel like
also the tiebreakers are great.
That is, I will.
I guess
agree
I
with
don't
that.
understand it.
I will
say I was watching at a bar, so I couldn't hear it. I was very confused.
So basically, what it is, if you're tied after your time, you each get another minute. If you're tied after that, you get
like
3
face off though, right?
Pitch. Not for the 1 minute thing.
Okay.
Technically, like, it is a face off, like a bracket, but
yeah.
So 1 minute, whoever it's more in that, like added to their total, they win. If they're still a tie, then it's a 3-pitch swing off,
which is awesome.
That's actually pretty cool.
And they were saying during it, like, we've never seen this before. We're probably not going to see it tonight. Then we had it. Juan Soto hit 3 home runs in his 3 pitches.
That's
Shohei Ohtani hit a ground ball.
Yeah,
his pitcher
was the one I
sucked, by the way.
Well, can we also talk about how Ohtani in the All-Star game, like, was just playing out of his mind? Like, if the dude played the home run derby and then threw 100 miles. I was reading the stats of what he did in that week, the last couple days. I was like, holy shit! I love Ohtani, by the way. Like, I love how he just does all this shit.
He is the first player ever to hit leadoff in an All-Star game and pitch,
which is so cool.
I'm shocked. Again, not a big baseball guy. How is this not happen? Like, how is there not a guy that went through college and they were like, all right,
tradition
you can pitch, but he pounds the ball. Of course, we're going to use that bat. I just think it's crazy to me that I'm not saying it should happen often, but you think there'd be 3 or 4 guys in the league that could kind of do that.
There are a couple of guys that can kind of do it. But the problem is you can't do both out of most guys. 99.99% of guys in baseball history can't do both at a high enough level to justify it. They have to focus on either pitching or hitting.
Well, that's it, right? They're told to focus at a young age.
So. I had this debate the other day because I was like, it's such bullshit that pitchers can only pitch. They can't do anything else because they're pulled at such a young age. Why, when you're 16, are you not taught to do both when your body is literally the most agile it's going to be? It doesn't make sense. We debated it for 45 minutes.
I have an answer for that. It's because to maximize your earning potential as you get older, your body's not going to be as agile, and then you're not going to be as good at either as a starter caliber player at the next level. So it makes more sense to focus on either fielding and hitting or pitching.
It does, but it also, as a fan, I'm like, I kind of wish this would happen more often. I think it's.
So you know what if that happened more often? You know what you'd see more of? Guys who pitched had a 7 ERA and that would field have a 750 fielding percentage and have a batting average of 190.
There's just not that much in other sports. There's more versatility than there is in baseball when it comes to
really. There's more versatility in football.
Yeah,
you're gonna have a left tackle play quarterback.
I mean, you have
how many times is Odell Beckham and Julian Edelman and all these guys
basketball
plays.
You also have tight ends playing linebackers playing tight ends too,
but not much anymore at the professional level.
I know
that's almost impossible. It was a story that J.J. Watt was doing it, which shows how little it's done now. But yes, do you know why those plays are successful? Why the Odell?
Because no one expects them. Yes,
that's why it's an element of surprise. Now, if you had your second baseman lob a ball over the home plate, yeah, that might work because the hitter's going to be like, what was this? But if you had him come to the mound and try to throw it, the hitter's going to be like, oh, he's throwing 65 down the middle.
This was the same argument that was used against me, so maybe you're right. However, I still stand by my opinion that it doesn't make sense to pull a pitcher from hitting at such a young age when you haven't proven if they're going to be a good pitcher in 5 years or not. Or
at a young age, I'm not. It's dumb to do that at a young age. But I'm saying if you're looking at this guy could go pro doing one of these two things, it makes more sense to have them focus on.
I'm not saying every pitcher should attempt to be a hitter, especially if they're kind of just okay at it. I'm just saying there has to be a couple of these guys that go to college and be like, damn, his bat is special. And he can also is our ace. I feel like there should be enough coaches that can kind of evaluate that talent and be like, you're one of the few ones that's worth it, that you get a couple that get to the MLB.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that like the ideas, they kind of shut it down just like in general. I feel like I wish that like other coaches and other kind of talents and other sports or whatever can identify like, dude, like, yeah, I know you've played, you know, corner all your life, but like you could be a 6 slot receiver or like something like that to where a few make it. You know what I mean?
Like even the guy we're going to talk about in a little bit, Sherman played wide receiver his entire high school and half his college career, and Harbaugh flipped him the corner. So
the problem with doing that in baseball is, let's say you think, oh, like this pitcher is really good in BP, let's put him in. That's roughly 10% of your at-bats for going through the lineup. So if that's no hits, strikeouts the entire time, you just gave up 10% of your offensive production. Now, if you decide, hey, even for a game, like these guys, college coaches are still trying to win. They don't necessarily care. It helps them if they put guys in the MLB, but it helps them more if they win a college World Series or their conference. But in football, let's say you go, hey, you've played receiver your entire career. Let's try you at corner for one play. If it doesn't work, you pull him. You don't let him play receiver anymore or corner anymore.
Well, I guess my more thing is like not try them. Like you can identify like obviously when you're recruiting and then even when they get there, like, oh, like here's my question, I guess. If you're a coach of like a really good college team and you think realistically, like before the season, obviously they could be wrong or whatever. Like I think this dude has just naturally, you can see it, like just the third best hitter on my team, but he's also my 8th pitcher. Do you think that guy is like going to bat like as the DH or consistently or anything like that? I don't think so, just because they haven't had guys that have made it that far. At least I haven't seen it.
There are probably plenty of guys who come into college who they go, this guy could be a two-way player. He could pitch and then play right field. And they tried them in practice in the offseason, and they're wrong. They're like, this guy can't do it. Sure. It takes a very special skill set.
Kevin. I don't watch enough baseball to know.
Yeah, me neither. I'm more devil's advocating this.
But I think it also depends on the depth of your bullpen. If you don't have a ton of pitchers to work with and you're telling these guys they have to pitch, then it doesn't work. And speaking as a Red Sox fan who, you know, did not have a depth in a bullpen until this year, then it made a huge difference if you were asking guys to do more than they were expected to, and it absolutely ruined games for you.
I guess the better comparison football-wise to make kind of more your argument, Kevin, is like, oh, what if Lamar Jackson is like an all-NFL corner? You still don't play him at corner because you need him at quarterback. I guess that's probably more your route with like pitching.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, you don't want a pitcher wasting his arm.
They're more valuable.
Throwing the ball to get there from right field to second or from short to first. You don't want to waste their arm doing that.
DH? I don't even know. Does college DH?
I think it depends by conference.
In college?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But like that would be the solution, right? Is like just have them DH if they're that good.
In college you can DH.
Right. So I guess in general, it's more of a, like, I don't really have a realistic, like, I don't really follow baseball enough. As just a general fan, it would be cool to see. Like, the only reason I know who this dude is as a not a big baseball guy is because, like, holy shit, he's in the home run derby and he's, you know, a great pitcher. That's awesome. Like that's like star level baseball stuff that, like, I think you're looking for.
I think part of the issue also is we're watching the greatest two-way player in baseball history. Yeah.
Right, and maybe that's my thing. Is as a non-baseball guy, I'm like, why aren't these guys all around? Because they don't exist.
I'm not saying he's going to go down in history as great as Babe Ruth did, but he is the best two-way player because he's doing both at the same time. A lot of Babe Ruth's at-bats came from years when he wasn't pitching. His last year with the Red Sox, when he hit one of the last couple years of the Red Sox, the team sucked. And he said, I don't want to pitch. I just want to focus on hitting. And he hit a bunch of bombs that year because he wasn't focused on pitching. It's very rare to find a guy with a skill set who can do both at the same time. It's like if a young Patriots fan said, like, why don't you guys just draft a quarterback in the 6th round and win 6 rounds? Like, These guys don't come around.
Okay. That's probably the right answer. That's my naive baseball. Why are there just more of those? Like, the answer is just because they don't exist.
I also feel like this is gonna be one of those things. Jumping on Kevin's point here, I feel like I'm gonna be telling my grandkids, yeah, I watched Shohei Ohtani live, like pitch and hit, like it was incredible.
That's cool. See, I didn't realize it was like that.
Like, this is generational. Like, he's actually because
awesome,
of him in the show this year, you can have your guy pitch and hit, which was never really a thing before this, which is kind of cool. He changes like fucking video games, which is awesome.
Really cool.
I've
always wanted to do that in the show, to be honest.
It's so much
also
fun.
think we're going to start seeing a trend. We didn't really have super mobile quarterbacks. You had a couple. You had like your Warren Moons, your Randall Cunninghams, your Steve Youngs, guys who would come around eventually. Then Mike Vick comes around, and he's electric. Now you have guys who grew up watching him. You have Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton,
Jalen Hurts,
Jalen Hurts, a bunch of super mobile quarterbacks who saw Michael Vick and went, I want to do that.
Right.
So I do think going forward, we will see this a little bit more often. Now, some of them might fizzle out, like I said, with their 7 ERA and their 190 batting average, but we will see more guys grow up trying to do it.
Okay. See,
Like,
that I think is a positive for the sport. So I guess that's what I want to see that. Like,
Well,
I think
don't
that's
tell
a
that
lot
to
of fun.
Stephen A. Smith.
Oh my!
That was the best transition
Our boy.
I could have had ever.
I was like, are we gonna discuss it or are we not?
I mean, Kevin, by the way, I got to give you a shout out. Your corner booth shots this week was pure entertainment. I actually enjoyed it thoroughly as I was riding down a mountain. It was great.
I was very curious. Someone could see that and be like, wow, this guy just doesn't know baseball. At first, me watching it, or them watching it, and then, thank God I didn't get any of those comments. But yeah, like, I don't know what the hell Stephen A. Smith's talking about. Like, what this guy uses a translator. It's bad for the sport. So do half of the young stars.
He never said that about Yasiel Puig. Like, he never, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's never. This is not new.
Playing that way.
Like, it doesn't matter.
It's not new. Exactly. It's not new.
It's ridiculous. Ichiro Suzuki, arguably the greatest Japanese player that we have seen up to this point, used a translator early in his career.
Even Hideki Matsui, Kevin, I know he's not a legend, but like he was still a all-star multiple times.
Translators are a thing. Teams have translators. Teams are hiring translators now, so these guys don't have to get their own.
It's a full-time. You look on LinkedIn, it's a
That's also an
full-time
advocacy
position.
thing. It's not just like they're recruiting a lot of people from overseas. Like, it's a literal advocacy right thing as a player that wants to play in another nation that the team should be providing.
I have no, like, to me, like, I remember as a kid, like, seeing, like, I always wonder when I went to a game, like, who's that guy in the dugout wearing a polo? And my dad was like, that's a translator. I'm like, and then it dawned on me, like, oh my God, some of these guys from overseas don't speak English. So as a little kid, because I remember the first baseball game I went to, I got a ball ripped out of my mitt by Vlad Guerrero. Craziest thing right now. I'm watching this kid like smash bombs in the major leagues. But like the thing about the Stephen A. Smith thing that pissed me off, because I saw it live and I saw Kevin's TikTok afterward, was that I just sat there. I'm like, dude, this is just gonna blow up in your face. I'm not agreeing with what he said at all. I see the argument he was trying to make, but it was a out of date argument, and it was nothing that was going to be relevant. Because honestly, I love watching Shohei Ohtani pitch. And I love watching him play. I love that he's one of the faces of baseball. I don't give a shit where you come from, how you play, what you look like. If you make baseball a game I loved as a child fun, I am your biggest fan. Tatis, who plays for a rival team of mine, I love watching him play. I don't care if he beats my Diamondbacks by 60 runs, even though everyone does this year.
You're a Diamondbacks fan?
Yeah, I'm wearing a Randy Johnson throwback right now. I love entertainment in baseball. Like football, baseball, basketball. Baseball to me has a weird part of my heart because I've loved it since I was a kid, and I get why people think it's so boring. Because there's been times I need to crush a six-pack sitting in the stands waiting for the pitching change to be finished. But at the same time, like guys like Ohtani and Vlad Guerrero and Tatis and Acuna are so much fun. There are so many guys in the sport right now who make me happy baseball is kicking again.
I mean, there's two points to it, right? Like, there's one that baseball, like you basically just said, is a dying sport, and they desperately need to be revitalized by either young players or something more exciting for the fans to be interested in beyond the sport itself. Because there are other sports like football, like baseball, basketball a little bit like hockey's trying to do and not doing it successfully, and making the experience for the fan more exciting. Baseball is not doing that because it's just an old time sport and they're just leaning into their tradition, which is not getting them young fans. Also, Stephen A. Smith said the week prior the MLB was not advertising the new Babe Ruth, aka Shohei Ohtani, enough. And then he said this. And so it was a horrible, horrible look, not only because he was being incredibly racist, but also because he had literally said the week prior that they needed to advertise him more.
Dude's got more waffles than a Waffle House. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, like, here's the thing that hits me. Baseball is. I sent this to one of our friends, me and Kev's boy, Steve Perol. I asked him, like, baseball, cool. I asked a couple other people as well. And the overall response is it's becoming cool again only because of guys like Ohtani, Acuna, and freaking Tatis. These guys who are just having fun with the game. Bryce Harper even got thrown in that conversation by somebody. I was like, okay, listen. As much as people don't like Bryce Harper,
I live in DC, and so he's
I understand why you don't like Bryce Harper.
At the stake here.
I mean, also the guy earned a lot of brownie points because he renounced his Cowboys fandom when he moved to Philly and bought like a ton of Eagles gear, and he became a favorite of mine instantly. I mean, also
trying to do that.
I mean, it's an upgrade.
Ohio State soccer player.
I mean, because the Cowboys will probably never win a Super Bowl in my lifetime, so it's okay.
The Eagles aren't winning another Super Bowl in your lifetime.
I will put $50 in that right now.
I would put $100 that they're not.
Okay,
you'll never have to pay it out.
Okay, at my funeral, you have to pay my wife $50 and $100 from Shannon. Okay, that's what's happening. We're shaking on this right now. JD,
no. If it's at your funeral, that means we don't have to.
Okay, no. She has to pay Shannon $100.
Also implies we all outlive you.
Also implies you're getting married.
Oh my God. I was waiting for that to come out of Kevin's mouth, Shannon. What the fuck?
Oh, Shannon,
my drink is empty. I gotta go fill it. You
go fill up your fucking drink, insulting me like that.
Another thing about the baseball thing is, like, it's one of those sports that, like, you don't need to all speak the same language to, like, play it. It's obviously a team sport, so it's different, but it's like golf and tennis in the way that, like, it doesn't really matter. Like basketball, I think it matters probably. Like you do need to be able to be like, hey man, like we got to switch on this or like something. Like I think the language barrier is much more important in like a game like probably football and basketball than it is like baseball.
I don't even think in basketball you need to speak the same language. You need to arguably know five
in the heat of the moment. It's tough.
No, I mean,
pass, like shoot, and rebound. That's like
I don't even think so. I think those guys will know. I think you need to know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because those are the 5 basic plays that a lot of teams run. They'll just run 5 plays. Like they'll run in timeouts and stuff, but on the court from the point guard, like what he wants to do, and then switch.
Right, but like I feel like there's so many moments in a basketball game, especially like towards the end where everything's hectic, where you like get your team together and you're like, hey, like we got to switch here, or like there's so many like little one-on-one conversations that go on. You could do it. Don't get me wrong. Like, if your talent's there, it's not like a deal breaker, but I do think it is a little bit of like it definitely doesn't help. Like the communication is, communication, I guess it's more of a saying about the sport than, being able to speak the same language. I think communication in basketball is just probably like more important than like a baseball, which is a more individualized.
Yeah, it's more important. I forgot you had control, so I was going to re-add you.
I know you sent me the link, and I was like, so silly of him.
So zoomed in the 3. Freaks me out. Sorry, Kev, you were saying something.
Yeah, so I think basketball is probably a little more important than baseball, but I don't think it's as important as like football.
See, I'd argue. I would argue it's more important than football.
No, really? So you're going to expect a guy who's never spoken English to know spider Y2 banana. Know what those words mean.
Or a line call at the line of scrimmage when the blitz is shifted and you're calling out Mike's, blitzes, Sam, linebackers, everything, man coverage. There's 1,000 verbal calls before a snap per game. It's like you have to make sure at all times.
Like I think more like you could hand signal that stuff more than
you try hand signaling like. 1, you're audible. 2, your kill play, and also the protection scheme.
Also, it's
tough. It's definitely like a more
it also takes one drive for them to realize your hand signals.
Yeah, no, that's why they have to change every fucking play.
You can do a tap, do a touch, learn Morse code.
But if you have a
like that.
slot receiver, you can't touch him.
Yeah, no, that's true. No, I mean,
you can run over and touch them, and they'll go, okay, so they're changing something, and then they'll like figure it out very quickly once you snap the ball.
Yeah, that's fair. It's probably I do think though, like I guess back to my which one is more. I don't know. I think basketball, like it matters. Like I do think.
Oh, it matters, but I don't think it matters as much as football.
As football, okay, I'll take that. That's probably fair. You won me over.
It matters more than baseball,
especially the receivers, because like at least linebackers, you don't want to have to go over and kind of tap or do something like that. But the receivers, especially, that would be really hard. You would have to learn an entire language of hands. Just learn sign language at that point, I guess.
Yeah. So like at that point, just learn English.
Right. Yeah. No. Exactly. Jesus. Exactly. But to your point, like I forget. I think it's McKenzie or McKinnon. Is that the soccer player on the United States team?
Nathan McKinnon is
captain so does it
Colorado Avalanche in hockey.
Yeah, I was gonna say
no, not McKinnon. McKenzie, or it might be McKinnon. I don't know.
I mean, he's Canadian, but there might be an American McKinnon.
No, they're like it's a guy on the U.S. soccer team.
Mark McKenzie.
I think that's probably it. I'm not sure if it's him. I think it's him. One of them plays in like Italy or Spain or something like that, and I don't think he's expected to learn Spanish.
Mark McKenzie plays in Belgium.
Okay, so maybe that's not it. There's one of them I thought that played on like Inter Milan.
Every soccer player that goes to an overseas league
is
not expected to learn another language.
Right, and I doubt that like in that country they're like Stephen A. Smith in it. Like, wow, this guy. How can you even put him?
I think it's a little different.
I know he leads league in goals, but
I'm not defending Stephen A. Smith. What he said is abhorrent, and he's an idiot. But I think part of the issue also is just a lot of these broadcasters are old enough to remember the good old days when every single player was white or American.
Bayless has showed that countless times.
I don't want to say white, American at least. Most of the guys who were doing their job when baseball was all white are dead. So at least all American.
Yeah.
So we're not dealing with racism in baseball anymore. Now we're dealing with
our version of English, all speaking, not even accents.
Look, Stephen A. Smith wants to make America great again. That's fine. Well, I just don't want to listen to it.
That's the extra, I guess, irony on it is like he's the like race relations guy at ESPN. Like, you know what I mean? Like he
even cited that in his apology.
He's constantly doing that, which also the apology was an all-time.
Was it worse than Rachel
don't know
Nichols'
me at all
apology?
if you think I meant that intentionally.
No.
It's like it doesn't matter if you mean it intentionally.
Okay, so
Stephen A. Smith.
But like it's one of those like I know I did this, but remember, like I'm a good guy. I'm on the right side here because
you can say like I'm the race guy. I didn't mean this, but this is twice in a week because he also said about Nigeria. They're like America's good, so I'm not even going to learn how to pronounce this name.
It was like 30 minutes into the episode after he apologized.
Right.
Is it
bang for 2 for 1 apologies?
ESPN, man, holy hell! You got Rachel.
And then they just had the Maria Taylor, Rachel Nichols issue.
Yeah, I was going to say ESPN's on fire this week. I want to see what they do next week. All right, Bets.
They're actually, you want to see what they have on next week? Actually, they're going to have David Duke come on to First Take.
Jesus Christ, Kevin.
Just talk about race relations.
I was making a subtle joke. Kevin just smashes it through the hole.
Look, my favorite is like Max's face every time he talks. Like he's just like.
I hate Max Kellerman, but also it's weird. I hate him, but when Stephen A. is going off on his shit, and Max is like, "Calm down, Stephen." I'm a big Max Kellerman guy.
Look, I don't even like
feel bad for him.
I do not approve of anything Stephen A. has said this week because he's really on a rough
just in general
tear there. But typically, Stephen A. is one of the only guys in that sports analysis realm that doesn't piss me off. Like Skip Bayless drives me insane. Nick Wright drives me up a wall. Max Kellerman's horrendous. Like there's few that do not annoy me. Shannon Sharp has like days where he's okay, but
Skip.
Yeah, well, Shannon Sharp also had an issue with Lamar Jackson going to like a local basketball court and running routes with kids. So
Shannon Sharp has quite a few bad takes. Like,
You're on
he's also
TV enough.
very sexist. Very sexist.
I
Like,
don't think any of the sports debate guys are even close to being. I would say some of them are okay, but there's none that are good. They all have so many flaws.
I like
But they're
Nick Wright. I know
supposed
you
to
said you
do
didn't like
what-
Nick Wright.
Oh, he's an
they're supposed to
idiot.
get us talking like we're doing right now. Like, they're supposed to piss us off. Like, I remember the first time I really got into like watching them regularly. I was watching Nick Wright and what was his old Chris
Carter.
Before he got fired for also being
I
inappropriate.
like that. I like that show. Though.
And Nick Wright actively is known because he cannot go an episode without like licking LeBron James' butthole. Like, he's so
Or
upset.
Patrick Mahomes.
He's so obsessed with LeBron James. And that summer was the summer
not
he was
too bad
free agent.
people to hit your wagon to.
What was that?
I said not too bad people to hit your wagon to. Patrick Mahomes and LeBron James.
Says the guy from
Well, yeah,
Ohio.
obviously the guy can't be wrong if he's going to talk about them all the time. But
and he loves my boy Giannis. That's why I like him.
Jesus, are you like? I know somebody who literally is the same exact fans, like teams. If you say you like the Packers too, I'm gonna be really scared.
God, no, I hate the
Okay,
Packers.
thank God, because there's a former
I like
host
the
of ours.
Bucks.
We love her dearly, but she literally was a Bucks fan, Ohio State fan, to the point of like driving us insane.
She's single.
Actually, yes.
Sounds
I
like
still
my kind of
talk. I
person.
still talk to her occasionally. She's a pretty cool girl.
That's a hard combo.
She's
That's a
coming
hard
back
combo
for
to find.
season 6 of the corner booth now that Kevin's gone.
No, that's a hard combo to
that is a
find.
hard combo.
My godmother's from Milwaukee. I've been going to Bucks games like they were like my first NBA games. She
Mhm.
dressed me up in Milwaukee stuff. So I am
Michael
I am
Red,
an
Ray
actual
Allen days,
real
You're
life.
younger. Actually, no, you're
Mine's
almost my age.
I'm 23.
Okay, so you're 3 years younger than me. I'm 26.
You're 26.
I have the Ray Allen like
Ray Allen Bucks jersey.
Oh, it's the coolest.
I mean, I still remember like the Michael Red days and shit.
My first game I went to NBA game. It was the two worst records in the league. It was Steph Curry's Warriors, I believe, as a rookie, versus like Brandon Jennings and like Drew Gooden.
Oh my God, Brandon Jennings.
Drew Gooden, I think, was the leader scorer in the game, like 15 points. It was like 84.
Literally
80.
went
It
bald
was
at age 18.
awful. It was in the old BOMS Bradley Center. Oh,
Jesus.
it was that. My claim to fame is like my first ever game. I saw Steph Curry, but it was literally at the time the two worst records in the league. Bucks
Fair.
versus Warriors. So I have been a Bucks fan my whole life. So I've earned this. I have been. It's pretty much a full-time job being a Chris Middleton Giannis defender. So
Yeah.
this has been a good couple months.
So what do you think about the finals then? Did they already ask you this?
We
No,
haven't
we
talked
haven't
about
talked
it yet.
about it.
We were going to do it after I get this breaking news out. Richard
All right,
Sherman
hit
has been
us.
officially released on bail, but he has to show up on Friday afternoon for court hearings. So,
This was
court charges, by the way.
What happened?
this was a heated debate in the Belly Up Sports Slack channel today. Actually,
I was trying to read this while I was at work, and I just
I couldn't even. Every time I checked the
Yeah.
meeting, there were 40 new messages, and I was like, no.
Was it a water cooler thing? Or
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
water.
Yeah,
I
don't
didn't get
get
it.
me started on that debate.
were you in it?
In and
course you
out. I was at
Kevin
the
likes to
grocery
just type in a
store.
comment.
Usually, when I look, I usually see a lot
When
of
there's
that.
chaos involved, I'm waiting for a Kevin Langley comment at some
Some
point.
people don't want to admit that football is the issue because they played football, so they don't want to think about their future. But
like with aggression and stuff. Is that
Yeah.
so
Well,
I
mental
look at
health in
them.
general, like mental health.
studies have been done showing that from ages 14 to 16, football players have more testosterone in their blood than non-football players. They tend to be bigger, stronger, faster. Things we expect. Also, getting hit in the head every day for 20 plus years kind of messes with your brain.
Look, I turned out, and how
I'm an expert. I've seen concussion. I'm an expert.
I've had like 5 of those.
I'm just
so-
kidding.
Say my
I know,
brother
the
has
movie,
5, and he
Will Smith
actually
movie.
does have like.
Here's how randomized like concussions are though for playing football. And I'm not gonna bring up my high school thing because I know Kevin goes on a rant. He has like a banner and everything. My only concussion in my life was snowboarding. I didn't even mention anything, Kevin, but there's the
You
banner
mentioned high school sports.
for 30 seconds. I was trying to prove a point that like it's so the rules in football. It's so random. I watched the kid get a concussion because he ran into the pole running a post route once.
That's actually kind of funny. I don't know if it should be, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, he kind of deserved it.
Like, that's good. Did he make the play?
Yeah, he caught it, and then it was during practice, and me and all my teammates
okay, it wasn't even worth.
we were just in shock, and the poor kid was a sophomore. He felt so bad for him. We were like, the poor kid has made the best play of his life in practice, and probably he beat the number one corner on our team, and just got his bell rung by the fucking goal.
So I have a question though to the Richard Sherman.
Yeah,
What? It was a family member, and he broke into the house. Like, I don't.
it was his in-laws' house apparently.
So he allegedly.
Allegedly.
It's all, like,
Allegedly.
no, it's all like fact. This is all the things that the police said.
Like, police report.
Well,
yeah.
his wife said he was drunk. He hit a what state was it? I think it was Washington.
Yeah, because he used to play in Seattle, so his stuff.
Yeah, okay. But so he hit a Washington Department of Transportation vehicle, damaged that. Then they called it burglary, domestic violence, which I don't love that description because he didn't like commit any domestic violence. He was trying to get into his in-laws' house after.
And the 911 call is the worst.
I heard that today.
Are
I was
they?
like,
I didn't listen to it. I didn't want to.
This is current wife?
It's an odd 911 call because I have friends in law enforcement. I've heard some crazy shit they've told me, but this was weird because the wife is trying to like quell the situation with the 911 with the 911 operator, which I never heard before in any 911 call I've ever heard on TV.
So my mom is a 911 operator, actually.
Okay. So I actually want to hear if there was a way for her to give her opinion on the call because it's public record now. It's all over Twitter. But like it was the strangest 911 call I've ever heard in my life.
And I don't think after this he shouldn't serve jail time, but he should get like a court-ordered therapist.
He can go back to football. Like, his mental health is not in a place where he can go play football, but like he should not be in jail either. He clearly
some team will sign him.
Right now?
Oh, of course they will. Antonio Brown was signed how many times? Like
once after he would reel off. He went off the deep end with the Raiders, went to the Patriots, then went real off.
I would argue after Vontaze Burfict basically broke his
he started off the deep end with
it was after Vontaze Burfict basically broke his brain.
That guy should be in jail.
Yes, that guy is a rapist. If you want to,
no, I mean, like every single GM in the league was like, Wes Welker shouldn't be playing football anymore, and then the Rams signed him. Yes. If Aaron Hernandez was still alive today and was
not every GM,
100%,
a team would sign him.
You brought up Michael Vick earlier. I could go on a tangent about that for 2 hours. Like I could.
I mean. Michael Vick is the poster child for what the U.S. prison system is supposed to be.
Which is fine. I understand, like, he did what he was supposed to do. However, he should not be honored as captain of teams or at all-star games or, like, speakers.
I agree with that.
Like, there are so many other people that can do that.
I think if you have him speak to at-risk youth, that's one thing. But honoring him as this great person, that's awards, questionable.
No, like, fuck
I
off.
think
he's in the Eagles Ring of Honor.
Where do you stand on? Where do you stand on his 30 for 30?
It was incredible.
It was very entertaining.
Kevin knows this, but I have a pit bull that I love very much, so that's why I'm very.
I understand. I get that.
Jared, how long did he play for the Eagles? It was like 30 years.
Yeah,
but
why is he in the Ring of Honor?
I don't know. No, he's not in the Ring of Honor, but he's like an honored player or something like that. Like Michael Vick has like a certain status in Philadelphia. I don't get it either.
I don't know why.
No, it's because he was from the Dream Team.
Get him a statue.
Oh god.
All right.
Listen, that means he's automatically cut this season after JD. Come on.
Let's move on to the NBA Finals, and we have a special guest at Bond Snow to intern for the Cruise Control podcast.
My favorite member of Gump Twitter.
What's going on?
Hurtful.
Not really.
So, Bond, Bucks in 6?
Yes, sir.
Wow, Bond, you've disappointed me. I still think the Suns got this in 7. I'm sorry.
No, so I actually
I'm from Green Bay. How do you expect me to root against
I know you're
them?
from fucking Green Bay.
I have a theory about this.
You a Bucks fan?
I have a Bucks fan.
My guy. I'm also a Bucks fan.
Fuck yeah.
I have a theory about this. There were competing legacies at stake. You had Suns in 4 or Bucks in 6. It's not Suns in 4. That means it has to be Bucks in 6.
Nope.
Suns
and 7.
I don't want
and
it.
7.
I want to see
We're on the same
Devin Booker.
page here.
I'm very conflicted. I want to see Devin Booker win. I love Devin Booker, but I hate Chris Paul.
If the Bucks win, it's just going to be such a washout year of professional sports, and I'm not
But the
going to.
Suns are like such a fun team, and also the Suns will always have my heart after knocking LeBron out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
like they've instantly won my heart, even though like I mean, because I have
was like the Lakers are making the playoffs, and I was like, look at every other team in the West, and then look at where the Lakers are at right now. Like, fuck off. That's not how this is going to go.
when the Lakers got eliminated, I think ESPN's like stock price dropped like $4,000.
I saw
Nick
something
Wright
This
alone.
needs to happen.
I saw something on TikTok that was like predicting the Christmas Day games next year. And it's like Lakers Nets, the finals that everyone asked for. Nobody wanted that except
Absolutely no one.
No.
New York and LA. Not even that. Like there are people in New York who did not want that.
I did my whole, not to get like educational, but I did my whole marketing like semester project on the NBA and their marketing and their viewership. And it with the Lakers and their whole dynasty that Adam Silver spent all of last season building, viewership was down 25% in the finals last year. More people watched that Thursday night football game than they did the game where the Lakers clinched the finals.
That's some of the bubble, right?
Well,
like no crowd.
Here's the
problem. It wasn't nearly. I think it,
no.
Yeah,
I can tell you, I watched way more hockey this year because of like the crowd and all that than I did like last year with that.
I don't think the crowd plays that much into it.
Not 25%.
I think for viewership.
Yeah, I mean not 25%.
Maybe not 20. I'll give you that. Maybe not 25%, but I think it's a factor.
2%,
it's a factor for me.
If it was
like it's an atmosphere.
Fine. But at the same time, like it's an NBA Finals.
They had fans in by the finals. They had all their family and friends in. They each had like 8 or 10 guests they could have.
I mean,
are you talking about like in the bubble? Like that's a little different
in the bubble,
than
they were allowed
like the 8K Suns and Deer District and all like that. That stuff's fun. Like for me, that's like that adds so much.
But the problem also is it's one of the two most storied franchises in NBA history winning a ring. Like it doesn't matter about atmosphere in terms of television audience.
Honestly, I
agree
with your side because I think this is really good for the NBA. A little parody.
Shannon, you got me intrigued now because that actually sounds like something cool to do a market presentation on. But one of the things I will offer with the Lakers is I think one of the biggest reasons that everyone's so happy with the Lakers being gone is that I think LeBron fatigue is a legitimate thing in the NBA.
It is.
Because Jordan called it quits at he took breaks in 16 years, even though on the Wizards, it was kind of just he was there to score points and like get knocked out before the playoffs.
No, but consider how much potential the league has to grow with these young players like my head's getting cut off, but with Devin Booker and Jason Tatum and all of these young guys that they could be really building upon. And the league has no other choice but to keep harping on LeBron James.
The last two draft classes, you have multiple players coming out that have superstar potential.
You can't do anything about it because you have to keep harping on what will not retire, which is not just LeBron James. There are other guys that are not doing it. And Adam Silver's hands are tied, right? You don't keep LeBron James happy, you're screwed. Like, same with Kevin Durant, same with every other guy that is hopping from team to team every 2 years looking for a ring.
I think that's more it.
They're all chasing the ghost of 23, and they're never going to catch it. So
it's the team hopping. It's like
it's exhausting.
Well, I mean,
you can't get into a team.
I could see KD playing the rest of his career in Brooklyn. I could definitely see that.
No.
Which is why everyone should embrace Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I love Giannis.
Loyalty.
I really do.
Yes.
Also, Kevin
that's
Booker.
good to hear because there are a lot of people that like, why is he being hated on? He is
I love Giannis. I love Devin Booker. This is the most finals I've watched since like the Celtics.
Chris Middleton,
Lakers.
like the idea that like nobody is rooting for the Bucks is crazy to me.
I haven't watched NBA finals this much since the.
I don't like the Bucks front office. I mean, the Giannis situation is different.
I can tell you why he's getting.
What's wrong with the front office? If there's anyone I don't like on the Bucks like staff, it's Bud. I hate Bud.
Bud, I kind of want it out.
I wanted Bud out. But
we're gonna.
I mean, I
can't
trade it all argue with results, right?
Trade it all for a championship.
Well, yeah. So my original problem was that Giannis said like get me a real team or I'm leaving. And I didn't like how they went about, just trading for anyone that was available as soon as possible. And clearly it is worth better than I expected. But we'll see.
But they signed Drew Holiday. Like, they didn't trade for him.
Giannis hasn't signed a new new yet.
Yeah, yes.
He signed a Supermax.
He signed
earlier
the worst playoff loss. Like, if any other superstar after a loss like that, they are gone. Like, everyone had him wrote off because that's the way the NBA works. Where Giannis had no interest in leaving, and now he's back here. It's an awesome story. And then they signed Chris Middleton, Andrew Holiday. They're going to be there for a while.
Chris Middleton, by the way, has been a revelation. Because I have shit on him my entire broadcasting career post college. I will admit I was wrong.
Kobe's in top 3. Anyone who thinks that Chris Middleton has not been this guy has not been watching the Bucks.
That's what I said, especially this playoff. Like, he's been a little streaky.
Are you shitting me? He hit a half-court shot to send the game to overtime against Celtics in the playoffs a couple years ago from half court.
That same year, I was watching.
He is one of the best. He has been in his own shot. Doesn't matter how you're playing defense. When he is hitting, he is hitting.
Yeah, I was on a work trip, and so I was like watching the All-Star challenge. Whatever, it wasn't the game. It was like one of those 3-point challenges, and it was just in like a hotel room killing time. And I was watching Chris Middleton. And I didn't know a lot about the Bucks besides Giannis prior to that. And I'm watching this guy, and I was like, fuck is this? Like, they have other people besides Giannis? And then so I was looking for him the rest of the time, and I was like, where is this guy? Like, no one talks about it.
So would you say it's more coaching? I will admit, I don't watch a ton of Bucks games. That's the first thing I'll admit right now. My ripping on Chris Middleton has more been for what I've heard from other sportscasters, as well as the times I've watched Buck games, he's disappeared. But
well, I hate
it? But it's NBA media I can't stand at all. They basically vote LaMelo Ball
about him because it's the worst. NBA media is by far the worst if you're comparing it to other professionals.
The reason they don't talk about Chris Middleton is the same reason Giannis isn't getting hate or is getting hate. They're doing this for a team that's not the Lakers, the Heat, the Celtics, the Knicks.
It's a small market team.
That's all I care about.
The NBA media is ADD. It is whatever's shiny and happening in the moment, and that's all that matters.
I disagree.
Because now everyone's giving.
They're
now
more stuck in their
like,
tradition for big cities than the MLB media is.
I think NBA media is hyper focused. They're like, this guy was good 4 years ago, so they're still going to be good now.
Oh,
that's true. I guess the guys that have been like that are kind of on the in are just grandfathered in of like, oh, Kyrie, like no matter what, like LeBron, no matter what, like there are certain guys that will be treated, probably better than they should be year in and year out because of who they are.
Let me ask y'all this: who do y'all think wins and how many games?
I got Suns in 7.
Suns in 7.
I'm gonna go with a weird answer here. I think Bucks in 7.
I'm going Bucks in 6.
I was gonna say Bucks in 6.
You really think the Suns are done? You think the Suns are not winning a game the rest of the series? I understand why these two. Kevin, I'm asking you, Kevin, because these two, I understand why they say this shit. I'm asking you, Mr. Kevin.
Once you get to a 7th game, it's just luck of the draw by that point.
Yeah, it's momentum at that point.
It's just it has to end someday.
If it goes to 7, then yeah, it's Suns. But like I said, it was either Suns in 4 or Bucks in 6. Now it can't be Suns in 4, so it's Bucks in 6.
Okay.
I'm going to be in Milwaukee for Game 6. I'm so excited.
That's awesome.
Are you going to the game?
What day is that?
I'm working on it next Tuesday.
Deer District looks like more fun.
Yeah, but I kind of want to
maybe I'll meet you there. That's not a terrible
in the
drive.
Stadium for it. I'm meeting a couple of my buddies from Madison. They're going to drive over. And I arguably got the short end of that stick with a 14.5-hour drive.
Sweet.
That's worse than mine. Jeez. Mine's like 8
I just
hours.
did 9 yesterday.
One of my entire life to drive that far.
Oh no! Are you kidding me? I would drive across the country to watch like one of my favorite teams win a championship, but it's still brutal.
Oh yeah, and it's like it's either the greatest night of your life or it's
a Boston championship parade. So like I
was too broke to go to the only Eagles parade that I may ever see, which still kills me to this day.
You didn't go?
I couldn't go. I got called into work. I got called into my stupid insurance job. They wouldn't let me go.
Well,
I
so-
literally cussed to my boss in his office. I was so angry.
My boyfriend's an Eagles fan, and he was in Philadelphia when they won, and so he always judges me when I say, he's like, oh, well, when the Red Sox won the World Series, he was like, you're not going to go up when they win, and I was like, no, like they'll win in a few years.
Your boyfriend's my new favorite right off the rip right now. He's an Eagles fan.
I'd go. My problem is like no one around here likes the Bucks. Like none of my friends like.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to go by myself. Like,
Well, who
Right,
are they gonna root for?
exactly.
The fucking Cavs? Shit, y'all gonna be the Cavs are gonna be garbage for what next?
Yeah, no.
Ever?
I have one really good friend that's a Bucks fan. The problem is he works Tuesday because we discussed we almost went Sunday and just did the Deer District, but ended up not. But I really wanted to go at least do one of the games.
I mean, I did a 9-hour drive yesterday. It was fucking brutal. So I can't imagine a
It's
14-hour
not the
drive.
drive. It's like I just don't want to go.
It's not my
fair.
first time making that drive.
Yeah, but I
Jared,
gotta
that
go to
drive's not bad. Calm down.
Virginia, Connecticut. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
that's short. Drive the extra
Yeah.
3 hours to
Hey, try
Massachusetts.
drive with your buddy who has road rage. That's terrifying. Like I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, it's still not
No.
bad. Like,
My
add
buddy
on.
is ripping through the fucking breakdown lanes,
That
zipping
is
around
straight up-
traffic.
I have done that drive upwards of 20 times. Like,
So
I
he
can't-
was in
okay, for the first
Southern
hour was-
Virginia.
Yeah, I was in Southern Virginia. I was in Shenandoah State Park at the top
You
of
said
the
it
peak.
right.
I did actually. Wow.
oh, that's where I went for my birthday. Yeah. Okay, so it's like an hour south of me.
Yeah. By the way, best hike ever.
Not the worst drive I've ever done.
Yeah,
Oh,
No,
no,
there's
I-
no.
I-
I get why you
I-
can do anything in
Iowa.
sports though. There's no service anywhere in the Blue Mountains, anywhere,
No.
unless you go to a brewery. Like,
Oh no! Oh, in the Blue Mountains, no. You're basically, I only got service at 3 spots in that entire mountain range, and it was crazy. I sent about 15 snaps to Kevin at that point, and about 3 text messages.
Kevin had to set my fantasy basketball championship lineup that weekend because all I could do was send text messages, and I messaged the commissioner, and I was like, "It's like I'm away for my birthday. I can't do anything besides send texts," and he was like, I don't want to make it look like collusion. And I was like, it's the championship. He was like, nope, won't do it. I had to give Kevin all my login information so he could set my lineup.
Was he in your league too?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Did you win that game, by the way?
No, I
Oh,
didn't
damn.
win.
That's so
I-
fucked.
I didn't make lineup decisions, by the way.
No,
I
I
sent
was-
her her
I mean,
roster, and I was like, who am I putting in?
He had a guy that had like a record game.
Kevin, you're a true friend. I gotta give you a clap. for
I
that
was
one.
so thankful.
Kevin,
He
you're a
was
good
about to-
friend.
I was going to
Yeah,
make
I
him
mean-
drive me to like a brewery just so I could set my lineup.
Also, by the way, the breweries down there are fucking incredible.
They're amazing.
Oh yeah, I had the one. So I went on I can't remember the name of the brewery, but I won their best beer. I guess is Bear Fence, and I went on Bear Fence that same day after having the beer, which I scaled a rock face where if I fell, I'm dropping 300 feet to my death. I never felt so scared in my life. So I'm a big fan of that park now.
Fence?
Bear Fence. It's like it's like the most jagged, like crazy hike in the entire park. Shit, I'll send you the video afterward. You probably recognize it if
No, I
show you.
just googled it. I've seen this beer before.
Yeah, it's crazy. The park was insane. But yeah, no, anyway, we all got our picks in, right?
Yeah.
Chris Paul is old.
I know he's old.
I just want to throw that in there.
Chris
I
Paul
hate
is
him.
the reason we won last night.
Oh my god,
He was
he
booty.
had I think I
so
saw
bad.
something. He had 15 turnovers so far in the NBA Finals. He had 13 in the Western Conference Finals.
I've
In the
been
entire
The
series.
first live sports I've watched since Saturday, and what I got to watch was Chris Paul basically just fumbling it like he's
Also,
cartoons.
also, I actually had legit I threw a hissy fit last night when Devin Booker did not get his 6th foul. I was screaming,
God,
"It's
you had
rigged!"
7.
ESPN. He probably had 9, all things considered. And then
They said
I
8
thought it
on
was
the
an
meme.
and one.
The meme was 8. It was 8.
Well, you know what? I picked one up in the first quarter that others didn't. No, but
You sure it's not a little bitterness
it was
there, JD?
it was unreal. I actually my mom was watching the game with me and she wanted me to calm down. I actually threw a fit. I was screaming the NBA's rigged. ESPN wrote their stories already. Devin Booker, the Kobe stuff, they want it. They want Chris Paul to have his ring. I was
don't know how I
screaming
feel about that.
I was screaming like a little kid. I really was.
Okay. As a
The
Kobe,
absolute stimulus package that they were given right there because they wanted to keep their best player in the game for views or whatever. Someone hit the big button that made the whistles not work. He tackled him. It was an intentional foul. Intentionally. He did it intentionally.
I will say,
disgusting. It's a crime against humanity. It's bad for the integrity of a great sport.
I will say, as a person who like
Bucks and
adored
six.
Kobe and like cried like for hours the day he died, the Devin Booker comparisons to Kobe, I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. I love Devin. I love Devin Booker, but I don't know if like he does not have that like Kobe when it was fourth quarter. I feared Kobe. I don't fear Devin Booker in the fourth quarter yet. I don't. I mean, he's a great player. He's nasty.
I was scared last night.
I mean. Then again,
it didn't happen.
I mean, my team hasn't made the playoffs except for Jimmy Butler's 1 year run with them. So,
Devin Booker's a beast, but like they want it so bad because like every pregame is like Kobe told me this, be great.
Sure. Which basketball team do you follow? Because it's not by city. I can't keep up.
Minnesota.
It's Minnesota. Because they had the league MVP when he was a kid.
You picked
what? Oh no, Kevin Garnett was my favorite player in 2001, and that's why I started watching them.
No, but I like the Timberwolves because I went to high school with a guy that plays for the Timberwolves.
Oh, what's his name? Lehman, right?
Yeah.
Deloading. Go Bucks.
Side note, I need the media to stop with the who's the next Kobe Bryant. A lot of people
never another Kobe Bryant.
It's Booker. Oh, it's Jason Tatum. Oh, it's Paul George. Jason Tatum and Paul George are more complete players than Kobe was at that age. It's Devin Booker.
Devin Booker plays the most like him.
The closest to Kobe, but then again, Kobe to me.
But you can also be your own. It doesn't need to be who's.
I hate comparison. In basketball is the one sport I hate comparisons. I don't know why. Like the comparison to LeBron and Jordan. I'm sorry. LeBron will never have Jordan's like wanting to throat punch his teammates.
They're completely different styles.
I know.
I want to be clear. Nobody compares their games. They compare their accolades, their contribution to sport. Nobody compares their games.
Also, I will never love LeBron because he calls himself the GOAT. He's not, and that's why I
Thank you. You can't call yourself the GOAT.
Jordan has never called himself the GOAT once. I don't even think Brady calls himself the GOAT.
No.
Or neither does Jerry Rice. They don't, or even like
Jerry Rice does.
As much as I look for ways to critique Brady, he is not.
Muhammad Ali.
Jerry Rice also sucks.
Muhammad Ali is the only person I will give clearance, rest in peace, to call himself the greatest.
Yeah,
that's fine. But like that, but the rest of athletes don't. Just stop. You look like a douchebag doing it.
He has a whole HBO show to do it too. He has a whole episode. I remember
the shop, right? Yeah, I watched that episode. I was like, I literally watched that.
The time I knew I was the GOAT, like fuck off.
Oh my god, you won a loaded roster game in Cleveland. Yeah, your comeback was great, but like, relax, LeBron.
Loaded roster game.
That team had a pretty good roster. I'm not gonna lie, and also like the
Warriors roster was better.
Oh, I know it was. And the choke job was
LeBron is good. Still don't say like you still play a team sport where you have to participate with every other player of every other skill caliber. You should not be going on a TV show and saying, I am the greatest player of all time, like bow down to me, when you have to play with guys that are as young as 20 years old and have to be on an equal level set team with them. It doesn't make sense.
I also want to point out, Jared's made me defend Auburn in this. He's making me defend LeBron
next. The lightest take.
You cannot say, oh, my loaded roster bounce.
And you did it sober.
Better team.
Nope.
I'm not sober.
He is not the better team in anything.
Oh, no. Kevin, I doubt Kevin was completely sober by the time he made that Auburn
first
take.
Time.
It's also correct.
Oh, no. The Auburn take was correct. LeBron, I may have overstepped by saying the roster was loaded.
Take. Like,
it was a soft – yes, it was a soft take. But here's the thing about LeBron. Kevin, you know, I've been driving the anti-LeBron fan wagon since – God, I don't know, the second he went back to Cleveland. Once he left Miami, I was done with him because
which is the wrong side of history.
Well, no.
I just want to be clear on that.
No. I jumped back on for 30 seconds.
This was the most likable moment.
Hey, will you chill the fuck out? When he won the title in Cleveland, I was all about LeBron because I was sick of the Warriors. I was sick of Kevin Durant. I was sick of all this shit. And then Thanos, a.k.a. Kawhi, did the snap and knocked that whole roster through.
Fun fact, Kevin Durant was not on the Warriors when LeBron won a title.
No, he was not.
Oh, he wasn't? Okay.
he lost to that
so
Warriors
Jared-
team. and
Okay,
then
that was
joined
the
them.
72-10. That was a 73-9 team. Whatever the fuck.
73
they're
Kevin
called.
Durant doesn't join the Warriors.
Yeah. Okay, it's
He
afterward.
wins
Yeah.
3 in a row.
Okay, it's okay. Sorry, come back to me now. Sorry, that entire NBA stretch was just like a finals marathon of Cavs Warriors. It blends together after a while. After watching every NBA final since 2003, I kind of just it starts as molding.
If KD doesn't go to the Warriors, I think LeBron wins 2 or 3 in Cleveland.
I agree. I think KD going to the Warriors basically was like
The first year the Warriors beat them, it was just LeBron. Both
And all of
Kyrie
his-
and
yeah.
Kevin Love were out. When both
Yeah.
teams were at full capacity, the Cavs won.
I also want to. We have to get to viewer questions, but we don't have
Yeah.
that many. So I also want to talk about something real
Give it
quick.
like a
That
minute.
Kevin Love injury.
Ripped his arm.
Cavs fans and Kevin Love like complaining. This isn't a basketball move to do this.
oh, he's
To
not
rip,
like-
a
Oh,
guy's,
Kelly
to
Olynyk
rip,
injured
to
him.
rip
Kelly
an arm
Olynyk,
out of
come
a
on, man.
socket?
Hey, Kevin Love did the same thing a few years prior to the Celtics.
I know.
No, I don't remember that.
I watched
So, like,
the,
so
I
that's
watched the game
the
when he did it.
Nope.
He was on Timberwolves when he did it.
Yeah,
So-
but LeBron. That
I
doesn't
think that's
help.
Jared's answer to everything. Like, well, it wasn't on my team yet, so I don't care.
He
Oh,
no,
exactly.
he was on my team when he pulled that move.
No, moral,
I
no
hated-
morals in sports.
I hated Kevin Love on the Timberwolves, and I couldn't wait for him to get traded.
And now y'all are in the dumpster.
Got yourself a little Andrew Wiggins.
All right, viewer questions. First question from our good buddy Pat, who's not here. Will Pat be drugged before he even boards his plane?
That's an easy-
Emphatic yes.
Yeah, hard
It better be
yes.
at a
No
Phillies.
question. He's probably 8 or 9 beers down
Is he at
before he even
Logan?
boarded.
It's so easy to get drunk there.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I can confirm that. By the way,
I
the
would
second
be-
easiest to get drunk is Philadelphia. By the way,
I would not be
Oh,
surprised if I
Chicago's
get a
really easy too.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, so Philadelphia International. I literally went with my ex-girlfriend. We walked over to the bar and just started drinking.
So
And-
I had a layover from DC. Well, DC is actually pretty easy also because
Yeah.
the Mexican restaurant opens at 6 a.m. However, we had a layover in Chicago and for like 2 hours, and all the bars are at the entrance to
Mhm.
each terminal, or not terminal, but like area for you to sit down. And so you just pick a bar and then you go into the
Oh,
booth.
fuck JFK, because that bar getting to a bar in that place is a nightmare. And I paid $16 for a beer at 9 a.m. I was not happy about it.
Oh, I flew down out of Chicago to Dallas for the Rose Bowl this year, and I was absolutely plastered at like 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah. I think that we got stuck in a 4-hour layover in Philadelphia, which I'm still amazed that it wasn't blackout by the time we got on the flight. I don't know how I survived that. I think the reason I didn't, because I knew I had to drive home when we got back to New York. So that's why I was like, okay, it's a flight from New York to Philly. It's an hour and 10 minutes. It's not going to work. So, because I was coming back from New Orleans. So I literally got on the train. I literally got on the plane in New Orleans drunk, got into Atlanta, still drunk, got to Philadelphia, sobering up, drank more.
Wait, not to chase. Bon, are you a Wisconsin guy through and through, like all sports?
Yeah, like Packers, Brewers.
Badger?
Used to be a Badger fan until I came to UA.
I was gonna say I'm a little Big Ten backup here. Felt good for a second.
You're an Ohio State fan. Calm down.
Yeah,
I
relax.
said Big Ten backup.
No,
Bro,
what?
I hate Ohio State almost as much as I hate Auburn.
That's fine.
Why would you expect him to back you up as an Ohio?
I thought
Like,
he said he was a
I
Badger
hate
fan.
that whole
He
conference
said he was
argument, by the way. Just
That would make him hate Ohio State more.
Yeah, exactly. Like I
I
fucking
don't think- well,
I
no,
love Clemson compared. No, that's a lie. I hate Clemson compared to Ohio. Like I love Alabama. They're also my second team because I root for them because of Kevin and Cruz and my guys. I despise Clemson. I would never root for them because they're in my
No,
conference.
I'm not. Like I didn't say that. I root for Big Ten, like
All right.
in bowl games.
Okay.
All right, so you're not a real Ohio State fan.
You stop. First of all, I would never have that
before I-
question in my life.
JD, before we get on, we have to
Sorry.
do a little shameless plug for merchandise. Folks, I know you noticed me and Kevin's amazing shades. If you haven't checked them out right now, yeetsofficial.com. Promo code Korner Booth. Great company. A bunch of new styles of this style right now. By the way, I love these, by the way. I fucking wore them all over vacation. They're the best. 10% off. Promo code Korner Booth. yeetsofficial.com. Yeats Official on Instagram as well. I love their shit. I'm going to buy more. I love these sunglasses so much. They are sponsoring today our viewer questions. Kevin, what we got?
That's it. It was Pat's.
That's it? Oh, that's terrifying. All right, JD, you're free to rant now.
I won't have my Ohio State fandom in question. No, you don't. So wait. You're telling me like you don't root for your conference in bowl games?
No.
That's crazy. I like that. That's crazy to me.
I unpurposely root against everybody in my conference because I despise all of them.
There are 2 times that I can list that I have rooted for my conference in bowl games.
I wouldn't root him for him in like national. I don't want him to win a national championship or anything. But
no, Auburn against UCF. I rooted for Auburn because I did not want UCF to bitch and moan about a national championship, and Auburn fucked it up. And then LSU against UCF. Because I didn't want them to bitch and moan about a national championship. And
first of all, it's the worst organization in college football besides Notre Dame. But the fact that you rooted for Auburn is really exciting for me.
Okay, so Kev, you're giving away too much ammunition here. Okay, so
I want to put my jersey on again, which is what
there's only 2 times I will ever root for an ACC team ever.
Well, there's a little bit of
they're
difference.
playing Notre Dame or they're playing Clemson. That's it. The only time I'll ever root for an ACC team. Out of conference, I don't care.
I guess you're in the SEC, so like I agree the SEC is
Jared's in
better.
the ACC.
No, I know.
I'm in the
I know.
SEC.
I'm talking about. All right, I'm talking about you guys. I guess I understand that. I do believe that like SEC is the best conference and consistently the best. I don't like the argument that like they act like they're playing a different sport because like that's where it gets like crazy to me. Like people who are like, it's just different. Like, no, come to Columbus on a game day. No, it's not. Come to Columbus on a game day. All right.
I don't think.
But you've never been to.
I will. No, I can't.
Penn State. I will say 4 of the best 6 home atmospheres in the Big Ten.
Oh, I'm
Are you
arguing
going to say Penn State's a good home atmosphere? Because I'm going to the Penn State Auburn.
Penn State
it is a good home atmosphere.
It's electric,
and that's the most fun thing about it. So
I'm
really excited.
I'm arguing that the SEC is miles above the best team in your conference. Give me the best team in the SEC. Give me the best team in your conference. We will win 52-24. That's what I mean by it's just different because we are built different.
No. Alabama is just different. The rest of the conference is not just different. Like that's where I get
Alabama is his own team.
Alabama, you know what I hate? I have a. You probably never listen to this, so I'm gonna call him out. No, but my cousin's boyfriend, husband, soon to be, whatever, is an Arkansas guy, and he'll sit there and SEC to my face. It's like, dude, you root for Arkansas, and I root for Ohio State.
That's because
like Alabama
to root for.
Well, that's what I'm
saying.
saying.
It's like I hate the idea that like Alabama's up here. And then everybody else in the SEC, like, SEC, like the fact that they chant like SEC when they win a championship is stupid to me.
I would say
that is stupid.
Okay, so here's the thing is, to me, as an ACC fan who Kevin shits on my conference constantly.
Can we let the SEC talk about this first?
No, because we already know what you're going to say. We'll get to you. Shannon goes before you because I know she's going to say something realistic. We get it. You love Alabama. Even Bon, you too. You got to wait. Okay, hold on. All I'm going to say is this. Quick. All I'm going to say is this.
So it's really stupid that SEC fans go SEC when Alabama wins a national championship.
Right.
Because it's stupid if Ohio State fans were rooting for Penn State in the Natty or Penn State fans were
I wouldn't root for them.
It's dumb.
This is why I root for the Big Ten.
Why?
Not in the never a championship. God, I hate the fan bases. I do hate them. Don't get me wrong. Like when we play these teams, I hate them. But
the only upside,
the difference between the SEC and the Big Ten is I will root for non-national championship. I can never have the fans that have the national championship over me. Is the fact that like it's an argument in the cap of the feather of the like Big Ten, and the fact that I hate the argument that like the SEC plays a different sport.
See,
like it's like so much better. It's like no, it's not.
It's not a different sport, but Alabama is the best team in college football.
Right. Alabama is a different program.
Alabama,
like, head and shoulders above everybody else.
There are great
SEC
programs.
uses them.
I would argue Texas A&M was the second best team in the country this year.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
I will.
Kevin, take me out. Kevin, take me out.
Oh my God. Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. literally played against Alabama
They beat
just as well as Ohio State.
okay, but that's fine. They beat North Carolina by 10 points.
Can I speak yet, or am I?
No,
Yeah,
Sean.
no, I've actually been
Should I make
very
another
excited.
outfit change? Okay, so
One more outfit change, then you can speak.
I was gonna say, just because an organization has take it off. Just
right,
because
there we
an
go.
organization
I'm not gonna go
has,
Let's do this.
Let's go like this because I got right now.
like, just because the SEC has multiple teams that could be good does not mean that they are above the sport. It's a problem that we face in hockey all the time, that the Atlantic Division, now that they're going out of the COVID divisions, the Atlantic Division has 5. The 2 teams that just played in the Stanley Cup final are from the same division. That would literally never happen again unless we face another global pandemic, whereas 2 other divisions only had 2 teams that went to the playoffs. Granted, in college football, there's only 2 teams that can make it, but it doesn't mean that there's no competitiveness in the other organizations, whereas Ohio
Let's
State
go.
is really content. I'm
not running upstairs.
But like,
I feel heartburn.
I'm not literally going upstairs to get my Ray Lewis throwback. I'm not doing it right now.
Also, by the way, about there being another pandemic, a lot of people who study disease believe there will be another one.
Oh,
well, like
They
I said
think COVID's
earlier,
the
Bradley
start,
Beal
not the
and Aaron Judge are both in COVID protocol right now. So
that's why I
about,
root
like,
for
Delta variants or
yeah, they're both Delta.
No, different diseases too. They think
oh yeah, for sure.
super viruses are going to become more common.
I agree.
nah.
Jared, what's the Katie's name?
Oh, that is Ghost. He is 5 months and weighs 11 pounds and is going to be upwards of 2.5 feet long. And I'm terrified because I bought a monster. I adopted a monster. I'm terrified because I looked up his breeds, by the way. 2 of the 3 largest breeds of cats. And I'm like, fuck, I'm going to be paying a mortgage for this cat's food bill.
Oh yeah, food is not cheap. People think it is.
He's on straight raw food diet. So
I'm like,
that's
oh no, why would you do that?
No, like the raw food brands, like not like the fucking actual. Like I'm not cutting up steak for the cat. No, like he'll get like actual good stuff up. And Maggie's happy that I brought up Ghost. I brought Ghost in from it. He's also throwing an attitude right now. I think he knows he's getting his manhood chopped off on Monday, so he's not really happy about it.
Oh, poor guy.
I mean, okay, so the problem is he's uber aggressive right now. My boy came over last week. We were watching the games. I got a bunch of friends over, and Ghost knows him more than the rest of my friends, and just full on steamrolls towards his legs and starts biting the hell out of him. Put 2 holes in his sock with his teeth. I'm like, oh yeah, the testosterone is really going good with this cat right now. I had to get him out of the way, but yeah, he's going to be monstrous. Half Norwegian forest cat, half van cat, so he's going to be huge. I'm like, I just drew the lucky draw of like huge breeds of cats. He already weighs 11 pounds, which I've had him for 2.5 months. I got him when he was 1.5 pounds.
Is that a Mark Ingram?
It's a 27, so no.
Oh, I thought it was 22. It looked like 22. I can't see the bottom.
No,
Ridley.
Nice. All I have for Miami is
Got a Cam down there.
I have Ed Reed and Ray Lewis. I'm gonna get a Deer King one.
Those two players are the reasons that I'm a closet Ravens fan.
There you go, Bond. My Ed Reed is Dime Life, by the way. Shout out to an awesome brand. I love their shit. I
actually only have 1 Alabama football jersey.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I have 2 baseball jerseys.
You have 1,000 like Alabama t-shirts though.
Yes.
Well, yeah, you just get them for free.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, no. If I actually went to Miami, but one, I was too poor and my grades weren't that great. So, I got in on grades, but like I was not getting a single scholarship, so it wasn't happening. I'm not paying $55,000 a year to get a useless piece of paper.
I got lots of scholarships.
Congratulations.
Well, I did that.
All right. So we got our little Ghost content. We talked some football. We talked a lot of college ball, which actually was kind of cool. Shout out to JD Davis, our boy. I love when JD's on because he's like him and Kevin are both the same kind of snarkiness. My favorite member of Gum Twitter. I love all of Gum Twitter, by the way. You guys are the greatest. Like Alabama, you guys have made me love Alabama. You'll never come close to Miami just because I love my Hurricanes, but I love Alabama because you fuckers. So shout out to Bond Snow for coming through today.
Bucks and 6.
That's my dude right there. And, of course, thank you to our director of marketing here at Belly Up and Auburn fan and host of Slap Sweethearts, Miss Shannon Walsh. And, my right-hand man, even though he drives me fucking insane, love the kid to death, host of the Tailgate and the Quad Pod, and the dad on vacation to Bermudas, Mr. Kevin. Thank you, buddy, as well. That is it. That is all.
Yeah. Bitches!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's Thursday. It's Korner with Pregame.
I'm the definition of half man, half drugs, ass the clubs, bad boy, that's what's up. After bucks, crush crews after us. No games, we ain't laughing much. Nothing but big things. Check the hit list, how we twist shit. What changed with the name? We still here, you're rocking with the best. Don't worry if I write rhymes, I write checks. Who's the boss? Dudes is lost. Don't think cause I'm iced out, I'ma cool off. Who else but me? And if you don't feel me, that means you can't touch me. It's ugly, trust me. Get it right, dog, we ain't never left. We just move in silence and rep to the death. It's official, I survived what I've been through. Y'all got drama, the saga continues. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere.
I feel like I have not officially said this. I've tiptoed around it. Kate, will you marry me?
Do I have to answer now? Or
No, you have time. You can think about it. You can think about a way to say no without hurting my feelings if you want.
lovely. I'll send you a letter.
Just don't even.
Cool, thank you.
For some strange reason, I'm off for this medication, feeling deranged.